everybody, this is Overboy, and I'm going to be doing my top 10 favorite actors. So this is a part of a series I'm doing where each week I do a top 10 list. And this week, since last week I did directors, I thought this week I'd do actors that I like and everything. So I'm only sticking with male actors. I'm going to do a list for actresses maybe next week or sometime later down the line. But this is just going to be male actors that I've always really liked a lot. And there are a lot of actors that I like, so this was like probably the hardest list so far because there's just condensing it down to 10 was probably very, very hard. So there's going to be a lot of actors that I love that I wish could be in here and stuff. And in fact, there was enough that I probably could make a part 2 list, and I might do that sometime in the next few weeks, but it won't be next week because, like I said, next week I'm planning on trying to do my top 10 favorite actresses. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get going. Coming in at number 10 is Brendan Fraser. This is an actor that I haven't really talked a lot about on my channel. I haven't really gone through his movies or anything. That's something I'm going to have to change here before too long. But I love Brendan Fraser. Everything I've seen of his I've liked, except for maybe 1 or 2 movies. I didn't really like Dudley Do-Right, but he's been in a lot of my favorite movies from my childhood, like The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. I grew up with both of those movies, and I grew up with watching George of the Jungle, which is a really fun little slapstick comedy. It's a fun movie, kind of a parody of Tarzan. In fact, Brendan Fraser was offered to voice Tarzan in the Disney movie and turned it down because he had already done George of the Jungle, which I thought was a cool little fun fact that I learned not too long ago. But I also love him in Airheads and Saint O' Man, Blast from the Past, which is probably my favorite movie of his. It's the one of the ones I didn't grow up with, but it's still probably my favorite movie of his. With Honors, School Ties. He's been in a lot of really good underrated 90s movies and underrated early 2000s movies, because even though he does have his big fan base and stuff now, he used to not really get the credit he deserved and everything, but he's always been an actor that I've always really loved, and I'm glad he's finally starting to get the recognition he deserves, and I really hope that he gets to make the comeback he deserves, because he's a really great actor, and he seems to be a really cool guy altogether too. But there's just something really lovable about Brendan Fraser. Every character he plays, he's got a likable charm to him. Even when he's playing villains, he still has a likable charm to him and everything. And I think he's a very great actor, so he's number 10. And number 9 is Samuel L. Jackson. I absolutely love Samuel L. Jackson. Almost every movie he's in, even if the movie isn't good, he's always gives it his all. There's only one movie I can think of that he didn't really try in, and that was the movie Cell, but he didn't have anything to work with, so there's that. But he's been in so many great movies: Pulp Fiction, Time to Kill, Django Unchained, Jackie Brown, a bunch of Quentin Tarantino's movies. Samuel L. Jackson is just a really, really great actor, and like I said, there are so many movies of his that I love. Star Wars prequels, The Incredibles. He's been in so many movies. Jurassic Park, Fresh. There's just so many that it would take a long time just to name all of the movies I love of his, because he's been in so many great ones and had so many great performances and everything. And he's a really, really great actor. So Samuel L. Jackson is number 9, and number 8 is Johnny Depp. This is another one of my favorite actors that he's kind of become. He started becoming one of my favorites after I saw the first Pirates of the Caribbean in 2003. It was actually the first movie of his that I had ever seen before, which is probably the best introduction to any actor that I've ever become a big fan of, because I absolutely love Pirates of the Caribbean, and Jack Sparrow is probably my favorite character of his. But I don't even know that Pirates is my favorite movie of Johnny Depp, because he's done so many movies that I love, like What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Sweeney Todd, pretty much all the movies he did with Tim Burton: Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Sleepy Hollow, Dark Shadows, Rango. He's done so many great movies. There's just a lot, and everything. And he's been one of my favorite actors for a really long time, and always probably will be. I don't see him ever being out of this top 10 list. Brendan Fraser, and well, pretty much everybody on this list has been on this list for a really long time. So, but yeah, Johnny Depp is number 8, and number 7 is Tom Hanks. This is he's one of those actors that every time he's in a movie, whether it's something that looks like it's going to be interesting or not, I always try to go out and see it in the theater if I can, or watch it when it first comes out, because I love Tom Hanks. He's just such a great actor. Everything that he's been in, he's done a good job. He's like Samuel Jackson, where even if the movie isn't the best, Tom Hanks is never the reason why the movie's bad. I love him in the Toy Story movies as the voice of Woody, Castaway, which is probably my favorite movie of his, Forrest Gump, Philadelphia is a pretty good one, Big, Splash, The Terminal, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, News of the World, trying to think of some other, Lady Killers, which is pretty underrated. He plays a bad guy in that one, and he normally isn't good at playing bad guys, but that one he was kind of good at, or at least I thought he was. I know a lot of people don't really think he is, but I thought he was. Now, I'm looking forward to seeing him in the new Elvis movie, and especially the new Pinocchio movie coming out later this year, the live-action Disney version. But I love Tom Hanks, and pretty much anytime he signs on to a movie, I'm guaranteed to watch it. So, Tom Hanks is number 7, and number 6 is Adam Sandler. I absolutely love Adam Sandler. I have ever since I was a teenager, and technically I can kind of say I've liked him since I was a kid, because I grew up with a few of his movies, like Big Daddy and Anger Management. I used to watch those a lot as a kid, but I love a bunch of his other movies: Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, The Wedding Singer, Bulletproof, 51st Dates, Funny People, Grown Ups. There are so many movies of his that I just have a blast with him. Pretty much every movie he did from the time Billy Madison came out up until, I'd say, probably That's My Boy, were all movies that I absolutely loved or really enjoyed. He's one of those actors that hasn't really disappointed me a whole lot and everything. I know he's one that people love to hate on because his comedies are really dumb and silly, but that's part of what I like about him, is because they are so dumb and everything. It makes them fun, more fun, if that makes sense to me. But yeah, so Adam Sandler is number 6, and number 5 is John Goodman. This is one of the most underrated actors that has such a huge fan base and everything. It's like really crazy how like this man doesn't get the credit he deserves, yet he has tons and tons of fans and everything. He's such a great actor, but he doesn't get the award recognition that he deserves. Like he's given us quite a few Oscar-worthy performances, especially in the movie Barton Fink. He should have gotten an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor in that movie, but he didn't, unfortunately. But he's had other really great performances too. 10 Cloverfield Lane, for example, is one of his best performances. He plays this crazy villain that is sadistic and creepy, and John Goodman just does such a great job playing him, and gives one of the best performances of his career. Another one he should have got an Oscar nomination for. But I love John Goodman. He's just such a great actor. There are so many other movies that I love of his, but I think my favorite character of his is probably Dan Connor from Roseanne and the Connors, and everything. I just absolutely love both of those shows. and he's the main reason the main draw for those, because I just love him in them. And of course, you can't forget to mention him as the voice of Sully in Monsters Inc. or his other Disney works like Emperor's New Groove and Princess and the Frog and stuff. So he's been in a lot of really good movies, live action and animated. And he's one of the actors that I grew up with whose movies have been a big part of my life as long as I can remember. In fact, probably even before some of the other people on this list. I've been watching his stuff longer than anybody, almost, except for maybe one other person on this list. But I absolutely love John Goodman, so he's number 5. And number 4 is John Travolta. This is another actor like John Goodman. He has his fan base, but I also feel like he's kind of underrated too. Not as underrated as John Goodman, because he has gotten award recognition, at least as far as Oscars go. John Goodman's never been nominated for an Oscar, but John Travolta is a really good actor, very underrated. So many good movies that, like, I don't even know if I can name them all. I could pretty much just say I like all of his movies except for Gotti. Gotti's really the only movie he's been in that I didn't like. Even Battlefield Earth, I have fun with as a kind of so bad it's good movie. But John Travolta is just, he's pretty cool. He's been in a lot of good movies, some of my favorite movies of all time, like Grease and Pulp Fiction, and he's done fun trilogies like the Look Who's Talking movies. He's done all kinds of other different movies, so he's a really good actor. So John Travolta is number 4, and number 3 is Jim Carrey. I absolutely love Jim Carrey, and I really debated on whether I was going to have him at number 2 or 3, but the person that's at my number 2 spot I feel like deserves it just a teeny bit more. But I absolutely love Jim Carrey. There's really not hardly any movies of his that I don't like either, just like with John Travolta. Really, the only movie of his that I can't stand is called Dark Crimes, and that movie was really bad. But aside from that, I like most of his movies. I think he's a pretty good actor. He does really great in his comedies, especially like Dumb and Dumber. It's crazy, like he can go from doing movies like Dumb and Dumber to Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where he has to give such a really great performance. But also, I Love You, Philip Morris, another one that he gave a really great performance in. Truman Show, Man on the Moon. He deserves recognition for all of those, and I don't think he ever got an Oscar nomination for any of them, which is pretty sad because he's a very good actor. But he's done tons of great comedies too. Ace Ventura, like I mentioned, Dumb and Dumber, Me, Myself, and Irene, Liar, Liar, A Series of Unfortunate Events. He's done so many movies that I've absolutely loved and everything. He's one of those actors that I know the younger generations have loved him throughout the years and everything. He's one that seems to stay popular with each generation and everything, and it's because he's just that good and everything. So Jim Carrey is number 3, and number 2 is Steve Martin. Now he's not only one of my favorite singers, he's probably the most talented person on this list, personally to me, because he's not just an actor, but he's also a stand-up comedian, a singer, a banjo player, a songwriter, a magician, and all that talent and everything. He's just so great. He's been in so many great movies and played relatable characters. I love him in The Jerk, and especially The Lonely Guy, a very relatable character in that movie. But he's been in a lot of other really great ones too. Bowfinger, which I don't know why I said that one. That's never been one of my most favorite ones, but it is a pretty good one. I've kind of been thinking about watching it lately, so maybe that's why I've been thinking about it lately. But Bowfinger is a pretty good one. A Simple Twist of Fate, Father of the Bride 1 and 2. I love both of those. In the little part 3 that they did on YouTube. LA Story, My Blue Heaven, Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, The Man with Two Brains. There are just tons and tons of movies that Steve Martin has been in. So many great comedies, Cheaper by the Dozen, Bringing Down the House. There's just a lot. So Steve Martin is number 2. And my number 1 favorite actor of all time is Robin Williams. Easily, without a doubt, my favorite actor of all time. There's no other actor that's been in as many movies that I've loved as a kid, or movies that I watched with different family members, bonding with them, than Robin Williams. All of the people on my dad's side of the family, and my grandparents, brothers and sisters, and even my great-grandpa and stuff, I watched Robin Williams movies with pretty much everybody in my family, so he's always kind of been a part of his movies have always been kind of part of my life ever since I can remember, and he's easily my favorite actor, and everything. He was the first actor I ever cried over when he died too. It about killed me when he died, but he's been in so many great movies: Mrs. Doubtfire, Jumanji, Good Morning Vietnam, World According to Garp, so many other ones. Those are just a few to name, a few of the ones that I love. There's so many movies that he's been in that are so great. But anyway, let me know in the comments who your favorite top 10 actors are. And sorry I'm not doing honorable mentions. I figure I might do a part 2 to this list sometime down the line. I don't know when, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.